She's still gone. She was already way ahead of her. The lady eventually will bring all this stuff back.
You know, as far as successful, I was a high school teacher. The one high school
The next year, he retired the last of January next year, so
nice.
he retired.
She started at 54. She was 15 when they hired her. Three sons worked with us 27 years, yes. Sure nothing already.
Years underneath that. Yeah.
I was just thinking last week. Sunday, I went to church there Sunday, this past Sunday.
Oh, you in the back? Hello, darling. Hello, darling. Where, Bill?
No, you did not get over that.
Well, yeah, but I've never heard that out of that. I'm lucky, I know you're not. Let alone your big one down in
Play while you see that.
I'd have to put all the.
I tell you what, there's nothing like it. You bet. You are absolutely disgraceful.
I didn't know that.
All clean and straight. But you can't imagine how many times the cemetery was his birthday. We went where his
Taking a picture of your backpack.
You brought your new one with you this morning, didn't you? What's this? Her granddaughter, I'm Dan. I get the trash out, I can't get it out. Those Clemson trash.
Yep.
Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Dang it, I'm Wally. There's two Wallies.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, just a more cheers over here.
Okay.
Yeah. Now who else have we got?
All right, guys.
Oh, we got a heap of
Come up in here. Glad to hear you.
Hello, Judy Gladney.
Judy.
Yes.
We
We were here a couple of years ago,
Yeah.
and you gave Dan out these coins.
Good to see you. Good to see you.
Good to see you. I wish I could see you.
You got an army out here.
That's all right.
Yeah, so if you want to start barking orders.
Go up and introduce yourself.
All right.
Yes, because he
I
knows
had just got through.
You can't see it all.
Fees.
Sounds good to me. Tony Adams.
Who is this?
My name is Tony Adams. I'm some of the Gladney
You?
kinfolk.
Yeah, but now this is your first time, isn't it?
Yes, sir, it sure is.
Good.
we've got a new one, Ed. Thank goodness, a young one.
Good, good.
Nice to meet you, Mr. Stevens. I'm Kathy Newman. Yes, sir. I'm from Union, Georgia.
Good.
Uh-huh.
Yes, that's right. Well,
That's Cecil.
Cecil.
Yes, now that's Cecil, yes.
Newton, Georgia. I've been to the little store down there back years ago.
When Cecil and finally owned the store. You
In
didn't know
Newton?
that?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I was by here last year, my brother and I, Subs, Sid and Jeff, Sid and E.J. Subs. Subs, yes, you took us for a ride and we still appreciate it. Well, I wish I could do it now.
We did too.
And we had Dr. Billy Stevenson as a pastor at First Baptist Church in Decatur, Alabama, years ago.
I'm a Gladney, and I'm from Florida. And I've been up here before several times.
It's all right, as long as you're glad. I'll tell you what, I don't have any glad.
Oh, yes, you do.
Yeah, you're a
You
good
have
lady.
to, Ed.
Well, I'll tell you what, I remember a lot of the glad ladies. I mean, you know, they lived here. Years ago.
Yeah.
Well, I'm 93 years old.
Oh, listen.
I'm hitting 445.
Well, you won more than the last year when I rode with you, or you rode with us. 92. It's just good to see you.
I know you can't see me, but my name is Wally. Lots of Wally's Gladney.
Wally Gladney.
I'm from right here. So my father was William Beckett Gladney. He used got along real fine. He lived to be 95, so he got a couple more years to go.
No, I'm going to
Actually, I was there.
He's going to 100. He's not going to stop. He's going to 100.
Well, I'm Larry Ivins. My grandmother was Gladney. I've been here many times.
Good.
The cemetery.
How did the old cemetery look? Pretty good, though.
Good.
Yes, he just cut it yesterday. Nice, I think.
Got some hands.
Oh, we have
Oh, yeah,
another.
you got those hands.
We got that.
We have another one, another young Gladney coming in here. Mr. Ed.
Hi, I'm Jamie.
Well,
James
looks like we are, man, you had a reunion right here. We
Yes.
have had it here.
Yeah, you bet.
I don't know whether you came.
I didn't come in until after we stopped having it
No,
here.
we just, it's right out here in this backyard.
Yeah.
Those good old steaks you used to cook for us, Ed.
Man,
Those good steaks you used to cook for us. Barbecue.
That grill. You probably still have that grill, huh?
no.
Did it rust out?
No, it didn't rust out. I had a nephew wanted to wash and I did.
Oh, I see.
Then I'll be some cold lemonade.
No, thank you.
All right.
I only take a little drink right before my dinner. That's it. Bourbon.
That'll mess it up.
Well, medication?
Now my doctor, which my only doctor I got now is a heart doctor. But he told me don't quit, and I told him I wouldn't fine.
It's Terry Wally, but,
Anyway, I'm a good man.
yeah, but I don't know if you want to do it or not.
Yeah.
I've had to clean this up.
I'm good.
You all right?
When's that, my dog? Well, we got a small group, but we brought them all.
Well, I'll tell you what, you got a good group, the old Gladney.
These are the heart of the whole group right here.
Well,
We're here.
We had some hangers on to drop off.
We got those big batons.
Here comes my wife and the other Wally Gladney from Kentucky.
Kentucky.
Her name is Blanche. And she's from Baton Rouge too.
This is old man Ed.
Hello, old man Ed.
This is old lady Blanche. I may not be quite as old as you are, but I'm darn close.
Oh, yeah. You must be getting up there pretty good.
While he's white, you know I am.
Blanche, come sit down.
And under Whip, the real Wally.
That's the real one.
The other guy's the big Wally.
You're
We got little ones and big ones, eh?
That's right.
I was here when you cooked the steaks out here in your backyard for us,
That was years ago.
1976.
I didn't know about that.
You remember, I don't.
Yeah.
But I got that micro generation, and I don't get about half blind. As long as don't nobody mess with nothing, I can tell where I'm at. Goes around. I've been, freezing some peas in there this morning. I've been freezing, I've been married to me. I don't have them motors left anymore. I don't have them anymore. One place.
Well, I suggested Betty a while ago, she ought to call you and warn you that we were coming. And she said she didn't know your phone number. And I said, well, you better call him because he might have a new girlfriend over this morning.
No, I tell you what, I couldn't use it.
Do you always have this nice breeze up here?
Well, I don't say always, but I appreciate it when we do have it.
It sure feels good.
Well, it's always, mind you, breeze here.
It's pretty hot in the flatland.
Oh, and I know the old cemetery was hot yesterday.
It's hot today. You want to hold that letter?
No, ma'am.
Oh, somebody's noticed.
That guy really did mow it good. It's a real good mowing job.
It looks nice. It's clean and
Looks
well
real
kept.
nice.
There with his grandfather, and he tells me that there was a road directly from the manse to the Old Rock Church.
But now, there's a dirt road.
Right, and it's not a road
Well, on
now.
that.
Okay?
What was your
So-
grandfather's name?
Road at one point.
Jake, son,
Jake
Stone.
Stone.
Jake Stone. See, my mother was a Stone and my daddy was a Stevenson. But they were, we come up back during the Depression. Y'all don't remember that, those days, but
They say we have one now.
you know, it ain't as bad as what it was.
That was tough.
Back then, we didn't suffer for nothing. We grew our own stuff in the garden. We had our hogs. We butchered a cow. We had plenty of milk. We milked our own cow. We grew sweet potatoes and everything. We got by.
Do you know who built that house? I know it was before your time, but,
I have heard so much that I won't say.
oh, okay.
I don't know, but I understand that the Gladneys was involved in building that house.
Okay. And how long did you stay there?
Oh, maybe 3 or 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
When I got up big enough to get out and work, I worked. Of course, go back years later, when they built Santee Cooper down there, I carried 35 trucks down there. Well, I had 35 when I got it out from down there. But I moved a lot of that debris and stuff out of there, Santee Cooper. And I hit Charleston.
You must have learned how to work pretty young.
Well, I'll tell you what, I had to. But, and I didn't throw nothing away. I kind of kept along with it.
We can see that. All right.
You got a good looking yard out here.
Yeah.
Somebody's been taking real good care of it.
What kind of crop?
I rent my place out to a boy over in Newberry. And he passed it, put cows there, and he keeps my lawn cut for me.
Who's the black and white cat set out there?
Now that's them British cats. I ain't got no damn.
Oh, yeah, I knew he was gonna add that word. I never say,
He
does
said-
Buddy still have all those cats? Yeah, those are Buddy's damn cats. I was waiting on it.
That one cat sitting out there guarding that barn.
Oh yeah. He come around and tried to take care of me.
Tracy's trying to pet him. One of the pet is a feral cat.
But it's something I don't let them. They don't go in my house. I don't have a cat. Dog in the house. And they really want me in there.
I mean,
All right.
Uh-huh.
We're-
I once asked my father, I said, how come in St. Francisville we have all these relatives to talk about, cousin Sally, Aunt Tina? I said,
Right.
we haven't got a marriage.
And I forgot to, but anyway.
Well, we need the help of the other.
Yes, that's what I said.
Betty, what do you think?
do, and this has got to be Miss Clinton. I can't think of any.
That was what? It's welding.
Hey, Mr. Jenny, he died in Gettysburg. It was actually.
Who was,
That is him. Yeah.
the dedication we
It's
did in
shorter.
Pamela.
Yeah, the town clock.
And
It's shorter.
States. He was in 2 wars.
Yeah,
He
the
was the
towers.
son of, after we left that, he died. And I couldn't remember if she did, and I.
This looks like, yeah. It won't come level, look.
That just means you're supposed to go try that out.
That's right. You got pretty deep.
It does when they go out of the room.
I know that.
What your chance is. I don't know if you can call it free when you're taking care of it. I'm not but I tell you what, there's no reason why y'all aren't college age or something. One of the chaperones.
Very newest member, this is Tanya Adams. And Tanya, please stand and tell us about yourself, please, where you go to school and all that stuff.
Well, I'm not in school anymore, but my name is Tanya Adams. I'm from Franklin, Georgia. My great-great-grandmother was Mary Elizabeth Gladney, married in Adams, and we're from the Samuel line through his son Thomas and his son John. Yes, indeed. And give a hand for the Samuels. We're all here. I work for Regions Bank as a customer service representative. I do a little bit here and a little bit there, and one of my big hobbies is genealogy, and that's why I'm here. So, glad to be here for the first time.
David, you want to talk about yourself, man?
Yes, I'm
That's
David,
enough.
but I have some more.
Okay.
I'm Davis Kirkpatrick, and I was one of the first treasurers of this organization. And I donated the Richard Gladney Revolutionary War Bible, which I got from a aunt who got from a great aunt of ours who was born in Gladney. And the story is how I'm this, I count myself as on the Samuel line. And the story is how I got the Richard Gladney Bible is that all of the Richard Gladney men had been killed, and I was the closest living relative of the Richard Gladney clan. And I am delighted to see that we do have a whole bunch of Richard Gladney people still living. And I got the Bible back in 1962, as I recall.
Thank you, David.
Thank you very much. We did go by and see it and touch it.
Because it's glass.
Appreciate that.
Kenny, would you like to tell you?
Ken Kirkpatrick from the Samuel Gladney clan. I'm my friend Martha Eastburn, my significant other. I'm delighted to be here. I've been coming maybe about 6 years. Davis told me about it a few years ago. He said you need to come. And my dad's mother was Harriet Gladney from Fairfield County here. And so, you know, I'm delighted to be a part of this, and I enjoy taking to the cemetery, by the way. It's one of my busy, fun time moments, and I can also recline in this 2,000-acre spot of God's green earth and appreciate what's there. And it's a labor of love, and I do enjoy that. And I'm just glad to be part of this. Glad to be here. I've got 3 sons, Kenneth M. II, who has an 8-month-old, gave me an 8-month-old grandson, and been back in the States just about a year now. And Chris, my middle son, I hope he brings his family this next time. And Jonathan, I have 3 sons, and so I've been well blessed, and they're my best friends. We're best friends. So anyway, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Glad to be here.
I'm Kathy Newman, my husband Jimmy. I'm responsible for the Gladney ground, and we're from Newnan, Georgia.
This is my wife, Blanche Gladney, from Baton Rouge. And Miss Lucille, we introduce you to new members, your granddaughter. How about that? You don't get up.
You don't have to get up.
Well, you can.
Well, I have my 2 granddaughters with me, and they live in Columbia, and I'm from Florida. And my father-in-law was John Harvey Gladney the first. His mother was Jane Harvey. So I came from the Thomas group.
Okay, I had something to say about 2 years ago we were here, and the kids here, father and mother, put on this whole show for us and cooked all the food outside and did a great job.
You did a wonderful job.
I mean, and the mother's over there in Europe with 48 5th graders.
Yeah.
You believe that?
I love her.
So she got on.
Oh, yeah.
We're glad to have the children here. Thank you very much. Gene Bond.
Well, my Gene, you all know. Poor thing, he was trailing after me, riding with me, taking me, doing whatever that the presidency required for how many years? Since 1995. I was vice president in 1997 to 06 was president. And I couldn't have gone a step without him. So I want you to welcome him in addition to me.
Welcome, Gene. All right, Steve, come on, talk about you and your wife. Oh, Lord. You guys think good there? Where you go? There you go. I'm Sid Suggs and my wife Faye. We're approaching our 52nd wedding anniversary. I think that's more important than anything else.
Tonight?
No. Coming up. Approaching. But we went to high school together. We found out about this through a young lady here. We were in the same business, State Farm, and I sent her a note and congratulating on something she's won. And she sent me a note back, and
Well, you told her your mother was a Gladney.
she joined the Gladney clan with us, and we've enjoyed it ever since. We've been 2 or 3 of them. We did not go last year to Memphis. I don't remember what happened, but that was the closest place it's been since we've been involved. And hope next year our son can come with us. And we have a lot of family in Mississippi. And a lot of them would have been here, but they had 2 deaths right together. And it just really put a damper on that family. So we enjoy this. This is just great. But we're like some of us, keep traveling well we used to, but we enjoy being here. I see Wally lost his shirt. I don't know what happened, but I think I told him that the elephant was going to stomp that tiger this year, and he didn't agree with it. We'll wait to see. Well, I'm going to sit down, Wally.
That's right, the dog about the.
This is Faye. Stand up, Faye. Let her say something. Well, yeah. Faye just acknowledged that you're
I just married a park Gladney.
Dang glad you better stand up and talk about your life now.
Oh, no, that'd be quick. That'd be quick. I'm Dan Gladney. We're, and my wife Judy, and we're out of Lawrenceville, Georgia, which is just a suburb of Atlanta. And just appreciate the heck out of all these Gladneys here.
But you're a farmer.
Pardon?
Farmer, yeah. Farmer, yeah, isn't it?
Kind of farm, well, yeah, kind of farm. But I tell you what, I'm not a fanatic college fan of LSU or Alabama.
And that's our past president, way back when he was a kid.
Way back when.
And Judy
Yeah.
was the treasurer.
And Judy was a treasurer, yeah.
So they both served our family well.
Okay, let's get to Jonathan, Tim.
I'm Tim Johnson. This is my son Tim and my other son Trent. My good friends Ken, Dennis, and Raycon. I'm from Kentucky, Alabama, and Columbia, South Carolina.
And this book is a result of all of Tim and Jill's work. We could not have it without them. Believe me. They
That's
were.
right.
I know I saw those eyes, but that's okay. You deserve credit for it. Thank you. I appreciate you so much.
Ray, get to a Ray wants to say something.
I'm Ray Hunt from Leesburg, Alabama, and I enjoy being here with you. This is my 6th time to be with you in a row, and I appreciate y'all letting me do this. And I'm part of the Tim Johnson Gladney clan. A very dear friend of mine sitting right here, and also Ken Dennis. It's, well, I appreciate y'all. Thank you.
You are welcome.
There you go.
We're glad you took out time to kiss you.
Larry, why don't
You go.
introduce your parents? There you go.
Well, I'm Larry Ivins. My mother is Virginian Reed Ivins. His mother's mother, Ruby Pearl Gladney, is my relation to the Gladneys. How many years have you been coming?
Oh,
Many, many, many years.
81.
we came to our first reunion out in Fort Worth, Texas. So how long that's been, I don't know.
That's about when Edmund Gladney got going good up there.
Huh?
That's about when Edmund Gladney got to going with the adoption agency.
Yes.
Way back when.
That's right. We visited all that out there.
She always looks forward to coming to the Gladney reunion.
I sure do. I
Miss-
missed 3.
No, 2.
Two, because I had broken bones.
But we're glad they
I was
had
in
you back.
I was in the Gladney Cemetery, not in the Gladney grave.
We're glad you didn't find it.
Fell and broke my leg.
Talk about that. Yeah, she kept telling people in the emergency room that her grandfather tricked her.
That's right. I was standing beside his grave when a vine reached up and grabbed him.
This is a real Wally Gladney back there. He stand up, past president, et cetera,
Dean, my wife, and we're from Lexington, Kentucky, and we've been coming since 1976. That's a long Wouldn't you hear that?
It was the year that Ms. Arnold's
I think that's
It's
about
about
the
the
time,
same time
we
we
just said, I
started.
think that's about the same time we
Yeah, I
started.
think Dan was here that year.
Yeah.
Because we had our kids and you had your 3. Yeah, little then.
Little,
We have 3 daughters.
Ollie's our historian now.
We have 3 daughters and 3 son-in-laws and 6 grandchildren. The youngest is 6 months old.
Very good.
You can tell me finally got a boy
Got 1 boy.
One other thing I should say, my parents celebrated their 60th wedding anniversary this year.
Got 2 birthdays, by the way, don't we?
Yes.
Betty and Davis.
And Davis. Mine was Saturday. No, Friday.
And mine was Friday.
Yes. Hey, Davis, what kind of I was 78. What about you?
69.
Again.
We have 3 birthdays.
Hey,
Jamie's
oh,
birthday.
you got 79?
Same
78.
My birthday was yesterday.
78, I bet you, I'm 79.
How many
Have you
people?
had a birthday?
Oh, no. Well, I did in May.
Oh, I was 79. And you were 79.
How many people had wedding anniversaries in July?
Well, we did
We
in
did.
June. We had
We did.
57. And you were?
July.
July the 2nd. Everybody else in here with July the 2nd?
Can I say?
Same day.
Same day.
Same day.
But we've been
We
married.
were 10 years ahead of y'all.
And Jamie must have had a birthday same time.
58
so-
years.
Friday.
58
Friday's her birthday.
Damn, 58.
So y'all have the same birthday, you and Betty.
And I was 57
58 years, okay.
in Korea and Vietnam.
That's like a decade.
That's a long time.
I'm telling you.
Okay,
But he was
let's
my boy.
talk about the board meeting we had and
That's a long
some of the things that went along. One of the things that we did, we decided to go to Lena, Georgia next year for our reunion. And then our hostess, Big Cassie Newman, she said, oh, yes. Can't wait. Those were her words. Oh, can't wait. That's right. Thank you, Kathy. We look forward to that. Everyone's gonna help. You know
Tell
that?
everybody where Unit is, Kathy. We're ready.
Hey, down there.
35 miles southwest of Atlanta.
There you go.
Right off of 80.
I-85.
How close to Jonesboro? Or is that the opposite side of town? You say southwest, did you say?
We're south.
85.
Okay.
Highway-
Now,
Interstate
85, okay.
Highway
If
85.
if you go back roads, it takes a little longer. You're better off getting on 138 and cutting across.
Okay.
Get on Jonesboro Road, go over to Union City, cut down.
Then tentatively, in 2011, we're gonna try Baton Rouge again.
Yeah.
All right? We'll give y'all some French cooking
They won't come.
and different.
Good stuff.
Make us some good gumbo.
Then,
We want gumbo.
you got gumbo, that's
But
it.
tell them
I got some gumbo.
why.
Yeah. And then 2012, we're gonna come back here. Not to this particular hotel, but maybe someplace else. We looked at today. We like what we saw. So that's 3 years away. We'll keep you informed. But we like to come around and check the cemetery and make sure nobody's been moved for 2 or 3 years. Right? And they're all there. And we have some new board members. Would you like to tell us?
I'm not a board member anymore. Y'all are free.
That's the first thing.
We had to rotate off some people who had been on our board. And Annabelle Kibler and William McMasters had been on the board the length of time that our bylaws state. So we had to rotate them off. If you don't go on up the ladder, you kind of get rotated off. What's your baby's name? Kevin Vince, yes. We added Kevin on the board, and I think he will be interesting to have along because Mama can bring him, and he's young. So he and his little wife, she is in school, college,
She's taken 3 college courses and her finals were this weekend.
so that's why they couldn't be here this time. So they are interested, and I think they'll be a good addition to our board.
They've been here.
Oh, yes, they've been here, yes. They come with her. And I left the board. I left the volunteering vice president position that I volunteered for in Memphis to fill in for one of our board members who had some family problems and then some financial problems. She got engaged. And so I said, I'll do it. But today we nominated Kathy to fill in for this coming year. Isn't that sweet of us? Yeah, I think so. So, welcome, Madam Vice President. Anybody disagree? If you do leave, please. Because that gets me back on solid ground with nothing to do. Okay. Available for advice, yes. And Wally gave us a good report for our treasury amount. We're in good shape, but don't let that keep you from paying your dues now, because we need it. We got to keep progressing down the road. We did have only hundreds for a number of years, and now we're thousands. So we're in good shape.
Then, by the way, I did not count every one of them. I think it's 16,700 some odd names in this book. Give or take about. There's a lot of names in it. I love that. So Tim, get to work, let's get to 20,000. Hey Tim, you know how many is in there.
Can you tell us how many we have now?
Look at the last page, whatever numbers on in front of that last one. Oh, in the database?
In the database.
About 80,000.
80,000.
80? So we only got 60 in there?
80,000.
Well, that's counting, uncles
And aunts.
and, I mean, in-laws.
Okay.
In-laws are in the
We're
database.
gonna have to 3 volumes
Weren't they?
in 5 years. I'm going to publish one.
I don't know, whatever you say. Whatever you say.
All right, anybody else have any business?
Still charging the same amount.
I'll turn it over to the president.
Oh, I'm not through. You
Well,
sit down.
I'll rest about the books.
Okay, this is kind of why I'm here tonight talking, because I couldn't get a speaker, all right? But the main reason is in this book are some stories that you've read or you may not have read. We are going to talk about 3 of these stories in this book. Okay. And what I'd like to preempt my talk and welcome everybody here was that all of our ancestors that we saw today, and then some more scattered throughout the cemeteries in Fairfield Parish. Excuse me, county. Louisiana has parishes, and all the other 49 states have counties. The Fairfield County. And I want to try and talk about the role that the 3 patriots that are kin to us, Samuel and Richard and Thomas, played in the Revolutionary War here in this area. That's what's close to me. That's what should be close to you. It's in this book. It's in all the history books. It was not high school books. They've done away with the revolution as far as America's participation. They don't write history books anymore. 2 or 3 pages talking about the South and the Civil War. They do away with their participation. So anyway, this is the real stuff. This is us. This is Gladney. And Betty's going to give you a timeline about the Revolutionary War, when things got started. And then after she kind of talks a few minutes about time. Talk louder, she said. Thank you. Talk louder, Betty.
Not me, I was yelling.
Did you bring your book? Did you bring your thing? Yeah. Okay.
School teachers are prepared.
Thank you.
Okay, now we're going to lead up to the Rev War. In April of 1775, Paul Revere left Boston to warn the colonists of the March on Concord. April 1775, 700 British troops arrived at Lexington at dawn. 70 townspeople were armed to oppose them. And that is where we hear the one shot was heard around the world. In May of 1775, the Second Continental Congress approved go to war. In August of 1775, King George III declared that colonists were in rebellion against the crown. In January of 1776, warships fired on Charleston. The colonists defended the city, and in the 4th of July, 1776, the Declaration of Independence was issued. Yay for us. In December 1776, General George Washington crossed the Delaware to attack the Hessian forces. June 1777, Congress mandates the design of the flag of the United States. In November 1777, the Articles of Confederation were written. June 1789, Captain Wynn, under General Wynn, attacks and defeats the Tories at Mulvey's Meeting House. That's right here at Winnsboro. And in 1780, Charleston and 5,000 troops were surrendered by General Lincoln to the British.
Okay, that's where we are. We're in 1780, and Charleston has just fallen to Lord Cornwallis, okay? One of the people that exacerbated the surrender of Charleston was a captain named Houk, H-O-U-K, a British captain. And he went around the rivers and cut off the revolutionary soldiers who wanted to leave Charleston and not surrender. They wanted to go back up the rivers and fight some more. But Houk cut them off. Didn't let them come up to the hills. So they surrendered, and they got treated very poorly by the British, obviously. So here we are, early 1780, with our heads down, in defeat. The only battle we had really won was back in 1777, small, but we hadn't won anything. And we were whipped, ready, apparently, to give up. Then, this Captain Houk, who's the hero of the British, he takes his troops up to a place called Brattonville. That's where I went today. I went to the Brattonville battlefield today to see what went on there back in the fall of 1780. And what happened to Captain Houk? Well, the revolutionary soldiers didn't have uniform, we just had militia, and they didn't have blue jeans, but whatever they wore those days, and their muskets, they put a rib on this side and a rib on this side and woke him up before dawn. He comes out of the house and he tries to chase this group, and this group goes around, and the sharpshooter, as the sun comes in the tree season, puts a bullet right in, kills Captain Houk. So that's the revenge of the revolutionaries for Charleston. When I read this, I said, I feel good. I don't feel good about people dying, but I feel good about this story about this man who cost so many men's lives in Charleston and cost so many men's lives elsewhere. He's out of the picture. It didn't take long for the word to get around among the people in the hills right here in Winnsboro. We won something. We did good. In fact, Cornwallis moved here in October of 2017, October, and lived in a nice home across from the bed and breakfast where you were on Mount Zion Street here by the railroad track. And it's a beautiful home, big home. He didn't own it, just went and took it over. Okay, Lord Cornwallis. He put all his troops out there in Winnsboro by that school, Mount Zion School, for 4 months. That was a bivouac. So Winnsboro became a big part of the Revolutionary War. Not one day or 1 week, 1 battle, 4.5 months while they were here. Because Cornwallis saw, hey, we get out of Charleston and go up in the hills where the rebels are, kick them. But what happened was, after Brattonville, the militia in the Kings Mountain got up there and really whipped the British for the second time, but the first big time. And that got Cornwallis thinking about what his position was And lastly, up above here, cow pen, C-O-W-P-E-N-S, cow pen, pens for cow. Our revolutionary heroes, including our ancestors, put the hurt on the bridge right there. And because of that, we have some plaques in that cemetery. Okay, our ancestors fought in these battles. And Daddy, would you tell me some of the things that you have or not? Okay. That's where we're going now.
All right.
Suspense.
We have very little information about the boys' actual maneuvering. We do know that Samuel was a patriot because he served in the capacity of providing equipment, horses, and two beef cattle. And when I had a guest speaker in 1999, Richard Ferry, who was also a independent research person from Columbia, and he said it was quite typical during this time that the soldiers, our people in the outlying district, served both sides. They jumped the fence back and forth to protect their property. We felt obligated to King George because he had given us the land grants. But we were sympathetic to the colonists, and we wanted the colonists to whoop them and get them out of here. So we kind of jumped the fence back and forth, but our really main goal was to get them out of here and get our independence. If Samuel, in his will, put the year of our Lord this was the most formal thing that he did, and he thought that the document of his will was second to the year of our Lord, which is independence. And he wanted all of his children to remember that in his will. In the archives also in Columbia, our second son, Richard, is listed as a private from 1776 to 1783 in Captain Edward Martin's company, which was Colonel Richard Wynn's regiment. Richard Gladney and Edwin Martin married first cousins. He is also listed as a patriot. The archives also show that our Thomas Gladney was a patriot. He is listed as wagon hire, September 1778, for 99 days with his wagon and his team. And Crystal Grab searched for ever so long to find Thomas's record, because we had Samuel and Richard, but we did not have Thomas. And when we were in Starkville, Miss Gregg gave me Thomas's record and said, here it is. We have been looking for it forever. So all three of the boys are listed as patriots. And in 1781, a bill of sale was accepted by Colonel Washington for Continental Patriot Service, thus qualifying all of us to be descendants and have DAR membership. This started in 1781. In 1782, the Loyalists began leaving America for Nova Scotia and New Brunswick. They did shut out here after we beat them. And in 1783, the last battle in South Carolina, and King George III officially declared the war ended, thus the term the Paris Treaty of 1783, ending the American War of Independence. There you got a short history lesson, y'all.
Well, that kind of brings it to a head. I have to put a PS on there. You notice the British went up to Nova Scotia. What was in Nova Scotia?
The French.
The French. And so the French came to Louisiana. Now, y'all all honorary coonasses. But
And they still
that's kind of the way history goes.
Is there an honorary what?
That's all right. It's not a derogatory word anyway, it's called coon ass.
I got you.
So anyway, the Cajuns are all settled in the south of Louisiana. Acadians is from Acadia, from Nova Scotia. Yes, ma'am. Oh, wow. I couldn't say shut up. Okay. Well, this is what this is all about, the book, our heritage, and a history lesson, I guess, the best we could do. And we appreciate your time and every effort to come here and go home and thumb through the first 40 pages. That's what these stories are. In the Samuel, Richard, and Thomas history of the first 2 or 3 sons, okay? It's kind of fun.
But you didn't tell them about the movie and that it's really a Gladney. I thought that
Oh,
was
I'm
most
sorry.
interesting.
Well, Captain Holt, I did miss that. The reason why I was so glad to get the revenge, in between Charleston and the Battle of
Brattonville.
Brattonville, right? Yeah. This Captain Holt, he was assigned to go look for a preacher who was a very loyal revolutionary, preached from his church. And it's in this area, maybe on Jackson Creek, maybe over here, but it's right around here somewhere. And so the captain could not find this particular preacher, and he took upon himself to find something in the preacher's steed. So he grabbed this 14-year-old boy, which is named William Strong, which is like the sister, the brother of one of our cousins. And of course, he's our cousin too, but it's like the 3rd generation. And he had his troops shoot him and kill him and brought him out with his saber and cut him all up. And his mother just is horrible. She said, please, you know, don't do any more. Please let him anymore. That's the reason why a few months later, or weeks later, they got over to Brattonville, got Captain Hall zeroed in on. It wasn't to kill the others, just to get him. They got it. And that was great. That was the start of the patriotism in South Carolina. That's what the match lit the fire. Yes, sir. Was this captain. And him showing off with his troops and just getting some kid and killing him right there in front of everybody.
And in the movie?
In the movie.
The Patriot, did y'all see the movie?
Yes.
The movie, the Patriot,
That
Mel
little boy
Gibson.
gets killed, and there was this child,
Yeah.
Gladney family.
So
It's a true story.
we are part of a movie, we're part of history, and at
I didn't know
Brattonville,
it when I saw the movie.
in Brattonville, they made that movie, and many scenes, maybe half of the movie was made there and reconstructed the battle scenes and the houses and the homes. So when you go to Brattonville, they remodeled everything to make it look like 1781, 78. And it's beautiful. Well done. And they got the last piece of paint on one big, beautiful house. And it's worth going. If anyone's going home to the north or the west, that's just easy. 43 miles from here up there to Brattonville. And then Kings Mountain and Calvin at hundreds of miles away. But if you do that tomorrow, it's open on Sunday. Look, it's been great being here. I enjoyed small groups. It didn't need to be so small. I think it's a $50 price on the meal ticket. So we kind of cheap these drags are. So a lot of people didn't want to come. So I promise you when we get down to Newman, we're gonna have a 40-hour meal. Make it so you want to come down and enjoy South Georgia.
Come on to Georgia.
The food was great, great,
Wasn't that
great,
good?
great.
And we appreciate
Thank you, whoever ranked that.
Boy, I thank these Gladneys for having large families. My mother came from a family of 12, my granddaddy 15, he was the 15th child. You know, it's just amazing back then. You had to have kids to survive.
Yes,
They had to do
I worked
everything.
the farms.
That was your labor.
Yes, that's right.
The meat shall inherit the earth, and Mount Georgia had plenty of them too.
But you know, back then, we ate well, we didn't know any better.
Right.
You get one clothes outfit a year, hey, that was fine, I mean.
I say that as a compliment because that's a biblical term, of course, and, but children had significance back then, especially significance because everyone knew they were in that identity of that family group, and they knew what their contribution was, they knew their self-worth, they knew how to cooperate, use their time and energy well to get things done. And that's the generations that fathered and mothered us, thank God. And we have, hopefully, can pass some of that on. We can get them off the internet long enough. But, on the iPod, I'm sorry.
Yes, cell phone, texting.
Would someone like to comment about anything on their mind about our association, the cemetery? Remember, we're a cemetery association. It's incorporated, I guess, here in Georgia or South Carolina. I know it started in Georgia. So, anyway, if we go to this conference center at White Oak 3 years from now, we need to find all the corporate records and show them that we're a tax-exempt corporation and dedicated to our family. That's all that is out there, is a conference center. Other than that, I think we'll enjoy it. If I live that long, if we can get here.
And the creek don't rise, we'll be
The
there.
creek don't rise.
We'll be there.
That's right.
I tell you, I'd like to say too, I appreciate Mr. Stevens.
Oh, yeah.
He is a joy to be around. I shared with some of you, but last year I came back through here and brought my brother. And we didn't know which one he was, but we called him. And when he found out we were Gladney, he said, you meet me at a certain time the next day. And he took us all over this area. Of course, I wasn't familiar with my brother, and I've been here. But that man is a very gracious person.
He is good.
He's a kind man.
His mind is good.
And two adopted children, and he'll tell you right quick they're his. He raised them.
That's right.
He's just a wonderful person.
I agree with that.
Yes, he's been a great help to the Gladneys and very gracious to Jean and I because we've been here so much. Very good. We never went there that he didn't offer us a tomato sandwich and he canned okra and sent okra home with us.
Sometimes pecans, yeah, that's
That's a mater sandwich.
Mater, yeah. Mater sandwich.
Maybe.
Made a sandwich, yes.
Okay, that's wonderful. Tomorrow morning, if you please, Ken will meet us out in the shady part of this outside, not in the parking lot where the sun hits you. Let's go stand where the sun don't shine. On the shady
Out
side,
of the trees.
the shady side of this building. Oh, you want 9 o'clock? You want 9 o'clock? We always do it at 8.
She wants 9.
All in favor of 9 o'clock? All in favor of 9 o'clock?
All in favor of 9 o'clock, you say?
All in favor of 9 o'clock?
Dan's in favor of 9 o'clock.
I'm a neighbor. One thing is, how about this? I can compromise at 8:30.
8:30.
And that way the people who drive into Minnesota can get an early start. We don't have anybody in Minnesota? Okay, maybe 8:31.
We have to drive 10 hours to get to Pennsylvania. And we got a dog shit. My son is going to the beach and we got the dog.
Is 8:30 all right? 8:30 all right?
8:30.
30 all right? You sure?
What you say? Well, Dan be here at 9. We'll be out.
11 o'clock will be fine. Go ahead.
Dan, I promise I'll be breakfast faster tomorrow. My fault.
I can't tell you how much I personally have enjoyed this. To get small groups together and talk to y'all, each individual, and that's fun for me. And it's kind of selfish for me, but I enjoy that. And we get 70, 80 people like we're gonna have down in there. We're gonna be able to have you see that case. Close talk. Right, close. Right. So I like to. Thank you. Well, someone said this is the end then, but not the end.
Not the end.
We stay right here as long as you want. You going to bed?
No, I'm just standing up. I've been sitting down all
What's coming?
Tim said yesterday that Alan Jackson's gonna be here. Here we go. Thanks,
Alan
Tim.
Jackson.
The country singer.
I
can't even
know.
go over
This song.
Last night they
What kind of money you need?
We probably will.
Let's gather around. We've got 30 seconds. 30 seconds.
It's the only place.
Yeah, let's make it. Drop the hands.
And you slide down first.
Well, I just want to thank us all for being here.
I didn't do such
To all of us here. This is my best one, most cordial and most enjoyable of all. Maybe it had to do with the food. You know, maybe it had to do with the air conditioning that worked this year.
worked.
And
Maybe it was the
scotch
company.
At the end of the day was good too. So, Ken Kirkpatrick, would you kind of bless this?
Look.
Out there and catch those little.
Who wants their picture taken for 5 cents?
I would wrap it in oil and onion.
Are you a Gladney?
I am.
I said I wouldn't have known except for the side.